All right. All right, my dear friends, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the webinar. In this webinar, we are going to talk about CIA certification program. Um, Now, I believe all of you have at least heard about this term CIA, Certified Internal Auditor. So, over a couple of slides, and as we move along, I am going to give you everything that you need to factor in a lot of different decisions wherein you might want to go for the certification, where you think that, okay, no, not as of now. I will do it, but a little later. But that would give me a lot of information. All right. So my goal is not to try and convert you into some kind of a curriculum or a program. My goal here would be to give you everything that you need to understand this certification. And you can take a call, that is your call to take, whether you want to do that right away, or you want to hold on to it, or you might feel it's not for me. All right. But it's good to have all the information. Let's move. Well, I will start by giving you a bit about myself. My name is Ayush Bajaj, and I started my career with KPMG India, and that was way back during my chartered accountancy days. Then I moved to EY in their transactions advisory services. And in early 2018, I started my own venture wherein we were providing corporate trainings to a lot of corporates out there. So I personally am tied up with a lot of corporates in India as well as in Middle East. And I'm really fortunate enough to work with some of the biggest brands in the market right now. All in all, when it comes to finance level certifications, when it comes to risk and internal audit, when it comes to investment banking as a certification, you are in absolutely safe hands. Don't worry about it. Uh, Also, some stats. I have, as we speak, trained approximately 17,000 plus students. All right. So, all in all, you are in absolute safe hands. All right. Let's move on to internal audit. All right. So, what is this CIA certification all about? This is the internal audit certification. And as the line correctly said, this is your passport to global career in internal auditing. Now, when I say internal auditing, that does not necessarily mean that it is only and only for internal audit. No, as we move along, I will tell you that this certification has a lot more to do with other streams as well, right? So don't worry about that. So first, understand what this CIA certification is, and it is only and the only certification for internal audit, right? So that we call it the gold standard in internal audit. So this CIA is the only globally recognized certification for internal auditors. And this is awarded by the Institute of Internal Auditors, IIA. All right. So if you complete this certification, that would tell a lot of people out there that you are an expert in internal audit and its associated areas of risk, control, governance, right? Which is very, very valuable in case of any company out there, right? So it is valid in 170 plus countries. There are a lot of professionals out there, and it's continuously growing, and it's available in 20 plus languages as well. Now, the most basic question that comes to our mind is that what does a CIA professional do? If, let's say, I take that certification, what is it that I am looking at? Right? I might be looking at assessing risks and internal controls in any company. I might be looking at the governance frameworks. I might be looking at identify and understand the processes of a company and how can I add value and improve that process. I might be looking at, okay, what are the compliances that are there in the company? I might be looking at ethics. right? So that is why I say that it is not only applicable to just internal audit, but there are other areas as well of risks, of governance, which can be a standalone departments in a company, right? And they are very, very important for efficient functioning of the companies. All right. So as I correctly say every time, CIAs are not just auditors. They are value creators and strategic advisors. Your goal is to create value. Now, we also have this question in our mind that, okay, let's say that I do this certification, but what are the scope areas? Where is the scope? Will I get this scope in India? Will I have this scope in let's say Middle East? Will I have the scope in US, Europe? Where am I looking myself at? So this CIA certification, since it is the only certification for internal audit, this is recognized by all Fortune 500 companies. Big Fours have their separate departments, governments, investment banks, industries. So practically speaking, all the companies require people having this kind of an expertise to tell them that, boss, you can improve here, you are going wrong here, you might land up in trouble, right? So it's highly valuable when I am looking at the roles of, yes, internal auditors, standalone risk managers, compliance officers, internal control analysts, governance departments, right? So this is not only specific to internal audit, and I know I'm again and again repeating this because it is the truth. All right. So the most popular demand regions for CIA is, of course, UAE is an area where there is a highly growing demand for internal auditors. USA, of course, it's a US based certification. India, yes, a lot of jobs are opening up for the CIA credentials. Saudi, yes, UK, Singapore. So practically, you see that everywhere this kind of certification is very much required. Now, who should pursue this certification? Uh, Accounting and finance professionals. If you are an accounting and finance professional, you have an edge to pursue this certification. If you are already working in audit or risk, you can do this certification to level up your career. Professionals working in internal audit, yes, to level up and scale the ladder, right? And anyone, if you even are a student aspiring for a global career in audit, you can go for this certification. So, as the stats say, after you complete this certification, there is a jump of 30 to 40% in your as normal CTC. And it generally takes about 6 to 12 months to complete the certification. But generally, the average trend is, approximately 6, 7, 8 months. That is the range where people complete this certification. And the minimum eligibility is you just need to be a graduate in any stream, right? It is not mandatory for you to be a chartered accountant only to pursue this certification or a specific level of recognition only. No, you can be just a graduate in any stream and you can pursue this certification. All right. Now, also, I have touched about on these pointers, but why should you pursue the CIA certification? Because of the credibility it enjoys, right? It is recognized by global employers as a benchmark of competence because, again, it's the only certification that is there in internal audit. Career growth, of course, it increases your confidence as well, right? It opens doors to global opportunities for you. It will open doors to big roles in MNCs for you. All right. Uh, Now, I get this question a lot that, when is the right time to start this certification? Well, I would say start it as soon as possible. If you are interested in taking this certification, you need to start this ASAP. And of course, with the new syllabus kicking in, starting early would definitely give you an edge. All right. So this I've already spoken about. Roles in audit and risk are becoming more strategic now. It is the age where we need more. Right. We are also diving into AI. Every day we see something in AI. Right. So the roles are now becoming more strategic rather than clerical or executional. And of course, the job market always favors certified professionals with strong fundamentals. All right. So, and yes, if you start today, you could be CIA in this very year, right? So just imagine over a couple of months, you have this wonderful certification with your name. Now, moving on to the exam format, right? There are three parts to this exam. Part one would focus on the fundamentals of internal audit, right? So where there are 125 questions over a span of 150 minutes, and the passing mark you have to get over 600, right? Uh, Exam format, it's all computer based exam and multiple choice questions. Part two will have 100 questions over a span of 125 minutes. The passing mark format and the exam remains absolutely the same. Third, again, there are 100 questions, 125 minutes, rest everything remains the same. So why three levels? What is the difference? Well, the difference is that level one would introduce you to the fundamentals of internal audit and its associated areas. Level two would tell you how do you actually do that audit, right? And level three is going to tell you that as the audit function as a whole, what do you need to do, right? So that though these are three levels of this exam, there is absolutely no negative marking, and you can appear for one part at a time in any order. But personally, if you ask me, I would recommend you moving from one, two, and three. But overall, you can go in any order. Now, how do you schedule the exam? You have to register through the CCMS portal of the IIA, create your profile. You need to pay for the exam and register, schedule the exam, and take the exam, right? Take the certification. Now, the next question that comes up is what is the fee? Now, this is the exam fees that is paid directly to IIA. All right. Now, this is for IIA India if you register in India. If you are somebody living abroad and you're registering for the global on the global portal, the fee would be slightly different. All right. So this is the fee, and yes, it makes sense to become a member first and then go for the pricings. Okay. So let me tell you one more thing that earlier we used to have a different kind of curriculum. In 2025, that is the last year, the syllabus was revised, right? And I really like the new one because it's much more aligned with what we are covering and not the old times. So the old syllabus comprised of these topics. The markings and the weightages have been revised now. The earlier name was Essentials of Internal Auditing. The name now is Internal Auditing Fundamentals, right? So these are the areas now that we have with the revised weightages. And in part one, these are the topics that we have. All right, so we'll be covering about different types of assurance and advisory services. We would be talking about ethics here. We would be talking about the GRC, which are the three pillars of internal audit, right? The governance, risk management, and the controls. And also, we would be ending this curriculum with fraud risks. All right. Now, it is very, very essential that you understand one thing here. Yes, because it's audit, it is bound to be a lot of theory. All right. But the exam are scheduled or exam are framed in such a manner that it's not as easy as it looks. Right. You would need to spend a lot of time practicing a lot of practical questions, right? Because again, you would be at most of the times you would be given a practical scenario and you have to answer the questions, right? So you have 1 minute, a little more than 1 minute to answer one question though. So part two is where we teach you how do you actually do the audit, right? So the new name is internal audit engagement, and these are the revised weightages. So part two would comprise of these topics. Yes, I know it's a lot. That's because you're actually diving into the nitty-gritties of internal audit. Whereas part three earlier comprised of a lot of different areas. It was a mini MBA, right? There was financial reporting, there was information security, there was leadership, there was motivational theories, there was financial management also, cost accounting as well. But now we have, I mean, the curriculum have has been revised, and it is focused purely on how the internal audit department as a whole functions, right? So these are the only areas for part three. Yes, part three has been relatively reduced in size. All right. And now, since I am telling you about the CIA certification program, let me also tell you how do we add value, right? So, of course, the syllabus that we cover is 100% aligned with the new blueprint. We do have our live online sessions with an option of you getting recorded backup. You will have LMS access. You will get all the recordings, all the materials on that LMS. You will also be getting an extensive question bank. Now, one very good thing is that we do a weekly assignments, right? So after every module, I mean, after every, let's say, 2 or 3 modules, there is a class test that we schedule so that, you also get prepared while we are going through the classes. All right. Of course, WhatsApp class test is something that I've already spoken about. And one very important thing that I personally sit with each and every student of mine to prepare their customized study plan, right? So this is something that I have introduced. This is something I've always wanted when I was doing these certifications, but I didn't get it. So that is something that I myself personally has have introduced so that someone out there who is in a dire need of an intervention from his or her mentor doesn't feel the same way that I felt. All right. Of course. And one more thing, while we are going through the sessions, I have a habit of making some illustrations and my handwritten notes, which would also be available to you on the LMS. All right. I wouldn't be spending too much time on this slide because this is what I've already told you. Uh, we are running some offers also lately. So just reach out to us. I don't want to spend time and talk sensey in front of you, but just reach out to us. You'll have the numbers at the end of the slide, and we'll be very happy to take you through this journey. All right. So this is our schedule for the month of May. We are starting the first, I mean, the next CIA Part One batch on 16th of May 26. All right. It's weekend sessions. It's only Saturdays and Sundays. Saturday, it's an evening time, so that keeping in the interest of the people who are actually working on Saturdays. And Sunday, it's the morning time frame, so that you are free to enjoy the rest of the day. All right. So as you can also see, after every few topics that we cover, there is a class test that is scheduled. Now, this is something very, very important. And this is something when I was studying for the certifications that I have done, I actually missed this. Now, what this prepares you for is this actually prepares you for the exam. So that once we end the sessions, you don't feel like, oh, I need 20 days or 1 month more to go back to everything. It prepares you for the exam as we move along. All right. So that, let's say you take, after we end the batch, you take 3, 4, maximum 7 days, and you schedule your exam. All right. And that is an efficient way to handle this certification. All right. So we have, I think, three class tests and one full mock test. All right. So that was about it. That was about the CIA certification. I will also be coming up with the different videos of exam hacks. Well, it's already there on my YouTube channel, the 10 hacks of CIA exam, where I tell you that how to handle the questions. So if you get a chance, do visit my YouTube channel, Ayush Bajaj Official, and do take that video. Do see that video. That would tell you a lot about the 10 hacks that I have developed over my interaction with a lot of students globally, that what are the mistakes that they are making and how can you actually avoid those mistakes. All right. With this, thank you so much. That was from my end. In case you have any other question on the CIA certification as a whole, do reach out to us. I'll be very happy to personally assist you with this. God bless.